So, Ukkonen gameplay-wise, what are we listing Ukkonen in difficulty? He's intermediate, right?
He's intermediate.
Medium.
Yeah. He's one of those characters that, at a glance, when you first play him, he's pretty easy to figure out what all of his abilities actually do on the surface. But as Derek had said, getting into the depth of the strategy of that character, he's someone that's easy to learn, difficult to master.
So, Derek, how does his signature ability really work? M. Tomato wants to know.
Ukkonen's signature ability is really fun to use, actually. Basically, you activate it, and then for a set duration, you're allowed to teleport around within a medium-sized area, anywhere you want, once every about a second and a half, I believe is the current cooldown between jumps. And basically, it allows you to manipulate your position on the battlefield extremely well, and when tied in with his static charge ability, you're going to be gaining stacks very fast to increase your damage as well. So it's not only is it a movement steroid in that you're allowed to teleport around and be very difficult to engage with on the battlefield, but then you get a attack steroid because all of your jumps are increasing your damage.
I'm really interested in seeing from the community how often they are actually able to get the full effect of that ability off on their enemies, because it's like you said, one that's very strategic. You have to plan it out.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a concern that you don't want to make mechanics overly complex to where players have a difficult time understanding what that character is doing from the enemy side. You don't want abilities where it's like, oh, I have no idea what that character just did and he killed me, because that's not fun, right? And then also, you don't want characters where, in order to even use the character effectively at all, you have to be a top-tier player. It has to be accessible enough to attract players who are newer or not as skilled, but still have the depth required to provide an adept player capability to shine through as an actual good player.
Speaking of Ukkonen, since the video release, we've seen on the forums a couple of questions, concerns about Ukkonen's voice. Yes, that is his real voice, and yes, it is intentional that he sounds very youthful, like a teenager. His lore, it makes sense. A lot of our characters are very dour, very serious, I'm either going to kill everybody, or I'm here to get vengeance for the death of my mom. And we wanted to do something that was fun and upbeat. So Ukkonen he's not supposed to be there. He's he's called the Renegade Bolt. He totally betrayed his father and the king of the Stormborn Elementals by being in this tournament in the first place. So being a rebellious youth was the intention of this character, and so now you guys have a little bit of context, I think, for the voice.
Alright, so another question, Gobian. How long after Ukkonen will the next Immortal be released?
So we're aiming, we're not going to give you a date exactly, but I'm going to say mid-February.
2012.
This year. Yeah, we're aiming to do one champion every 4 weeks.
I appreciate your patience on waiting for some of these, but we put a lot of effort into developing these Immortals, making sure that their animations are good and their gameplay flows well together.
Yeah, we have 6 that are in the works, including the next one.
We sneak a name out there?
You can mention Chaos.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
So yeah, Chaos. Let your imagination run wild. I'd be particularly impressed if they can identify Chaos's abilities from that name.
It's not spelled the way you would think.
So Armor asks, do you guys ever plan on adding a true damage melee Immortal, Derek?
We haven't planned against it.
Yeah, I mean, true damage is always a tool that you have in your arsenal as a designer, because it provides a unique mechanic in that enemy players, the only way to build against it is maximizing their health pool. So to specifically suggest that we plan on adding a true damage melee character would not be correct, but it is a possibility. There's no reason we couldn't use true damage, although you have to be careful because it can sometimes be frustrating as an opponent, thinking, oh, well, there's no way I can properly react to this true damage because nothing affects it.
Okay, so in violation of our normal rules, I have 2 questions from Gobian. What are the 3 gated communities in the hub? He also asks as a sub-question, is there going to be more interactiveness with the hub?
So, as far as those 3 gated communities, those are great conversation points. I can tell you what they're for, but then I'd have to kill you. They are secrets.
Yep.
But as far as the second part of that question, is there ever going to be any more interactiveness or any more interactivity within the hub? It's something that we have discussed. We have several plans and kind of grand schemes in mind. We do plan on expanding its function.
There's a lot of opportunities for the hub, and a lot of the community has, said, hey, we can put this in there, we can put that in there. What are you going to do in those gated communities? That sort of thing. So
I completely agree. I really like the idea of using the gates as jails, so we should get Mr. Lytle right on that.
We'll get right on that, right.
We want to hear from the community what you guys want in the hub. I mean, the game is all about you, after all. So let us know what you want in there. We always consider what you have to say. Might not be able to make it all, but we'll see what we can do.
So buy Ukkonen and buy those experience potions. Power level in a week. You can do it. I have faith in you.
Yeah, show us what you got for Ukkonen.